Hello and welcome to the SorareAndrews podcast brought to you by RotoWire and sponsored by Sorare. I'm Andrew Laird, Lairdinho on Sorare. With me as always is Andy Black at Black on Sorare. And joining us today, Maxime Hagenbourger, almost got it, from SorareData. We thought Maxime would be the perfect guest to talk about the successful transition to the new scaling solution. And the last time I checked, we're still transitioning to the new scaling solution. Maxime, welcome back.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here. Hi, everyone. And great that you see that the podcast is actually sponsored by Sorare. Great stuff.
It is finally now, yes.
Does that mean we're like corporate shills now and we...
Totally corporate shills, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Everything is positive now. Don't you dare say anything negative about
I'm going to leave now. See you.
Pure conflicts of interest now. We have this. So we wanted to do this on Wednesday, and the new scaling solution was being implemented that day, and we thought maybe we should just wait a little bit to see how it went, and it's still going. So Maxime, you're probably the better person to talk about this, but like, how is it going?
No, I guess it's almost over now. They're pretty careful about communication, since they were very ambitious at the beginning, saying this should be done in 4 hours. I told Pierre, which is one of the senior developers there, you guys are legends if you manage to do this in 4 hours. And as it was planned, it actually took way longer than 4 hours. But for something of that magnitude and that complexity, and also that immaturity, because it's way brand new technology, it's absolutely amazing what they've done. And right now you can buy cars on the secondary market. So I guess that's basically the end of the transition. What's missing still is actually edge settlements that are fast. Now you have to wait for several hours in some cases for your ETH to be credited on your balance, but it doesn't really change from what we've known already. But I guess next week it will be over. Everyone will see instant settlement, like instant under a minute or under 5 minute settlements, and that'd be great. Because just to clarify, the first time you're moving your card in the new system, so in this layer 2 system, they have to migrate the card from Ethereum to Starkware. So that means that you have to wait for the settlement on the main chain. So that takes some time. But once it's on the layer 2, it's basically very fast afterwards. So that's why they say it's going to be a shorter in the next weeks.
So are they not migrating all the cards like up front?
No, because that would mean... that would mean a lot of money.
Sure.
And if a card doesn't move, I guess that's not a problem. So it just stays there. Well, the only thing that matters is that you can't sell a card. Like, let's say that you have the card on the layer 2 and you still own it on the layer 1, and you say, hey guys, I'm selling Mbappe's for 10 ETH, so for example, but you still own it on the layer 2. So that's why you have to migrate the card. And that's why it takes a bit of time at first. But I think they are gladly paying transaction fees for that matter, because that's the last time. Obviously, if someone doesn't withdraw to layer 1, the card the last time they pay for transaction fees.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And I'd never really even considered that as like a way forward, because I guess I didn't totally understand like the tech side of it. But I've got cards in my gallery that may never move again. Just they're an old retired player or something that nobody's gonna ever want. Why migrate it? Why pay gas fees to move it? Makes sense.
I've got plenty of current players who will probably never be sold that I'll never play. So it's nice that yours are at least retired.
Yeah.
Remember the time when, like back in March, someone just did a bot with like buying every card under 0.025? So that they may move at some point.
Yeah.
I guess we will see that another day, maybe in the coming weeks, I guess.
A bot that's going to buy all my stuff
Yeah,
in the coming weeks.
all the worthless stuff. But I guess you shouldn't like sell too fast your retail player cards, because we know that they want to do some kind of give some kind of utility to those players. I've always wanted to do something that's doing replays also on SorareData. I guess that's a fun way also to kind of earn stuff with retired players. But I guess stats being like limited to the 2019 season onwards, it's a bit complicated to organize those competitions.
I was going to say, who's the best player on the platform that's either retired or, I mean, probably Maradona, right?
Yeah, but we don't have the stats for Maradona, and and we will never get the stats for Maradona.
Yeah, right.
But like Jérémy Mathieu was a very good player that retired. We have the Bender brothers also that have retired.
Yeah.
Got decently in 2019.
Company was pretty good.
But I wonder if they actually need statistics or if they could do it based on something else. I don't know.
I would love to have them graded much on very subjective things just randomly. I definitely want that.
Well, I don't mean that. I mean just more. It doesn't have to be the current scoring system, but they could do more of like a goals, assists, clean sheets, like a basic mode. I don't know.
Yeah, even that is very complicated to do. But I guess what the thing I want to see for Sorare cards, like in the next years, is some kind of fan engagement stuff. Like you own 10 cards of the club, whether it's a retired players or a player not playing in the club anymore. Well, you can go to the stadium and get tickets for free or discounts on tickets, etc. So I guess if you're a fan of a club and you own retired players from that club, I guess that's, if you don't need the money, that's good too. If you don't need the 0.003 ETH, I guess that's a nice keep.
I meant to bring this up at some point, but we may as well talk about it now. With these coach cards, a friend of mine got a trade offer the other day to somebody wanted to send him his Claudio Ranieri card. And he was like, what do I do with it? And I'm like, oh no, you just keep it. Like at some point we're supposed to have utility with these cards, but like right now we don't. How many managers need to be on the platform, like cards, for them to make something that there's utility?
Wow. I'm not sure I even get the question.
So like,
can you
so
do
right
that
now
again?
we have Ranieri and Phil Neville, who I think are the only two active manager. I don't even know if Ranieri is hired.
There's Zidane. Zidane will be an active coach at some point.
Sure. So if we have only three, like you can't build something that gives those guys utility.
Yeah, but also, I understand, but also you have to reward at some point those guys for holding those cards for so long without anything. Like it's the same thing with those David Beckham cards from 2011. I guess they are pretty well. I don't really like the design, but I guess it's.
I don't think you have to do anything though.
I think it's a stretch to say they're from 2011.
Yeah, but I mean, at some point you have to justify their value on the market. I guess collectible is fine, but they're just limited editions of cards that like no one from 2011 also existed as a Sorare card, and you can't do anything with it. So I guess it's a bit frustrating for me, and I never understood people that actually bought those cards. And during the March frenzy, we saw people buying Maradona for thousands of dollars, and also David Beckham cards for thousands of dollars. Also, I mean, I don't see Sorare being legitimate, let's say, for issuing older cards like back in 2011 or back in, I don't know, 1976 or 78 for the unique card for Trevor Booking. I guess it's an experiment, but I don't feel they are legitimate to issue those cards.
Just because they don't have utility?
No, just because it's just issuing cards that like you're in 2019 or you're in 2020 and you're issuing cards that were from season 1979.
Like,
what's the point?
I agree. It should say 2021 on those cards or the current year. Like, it almost is. I mean, obviously, this didn't exist in 1970, whatever, but it still is weird to put that year on the card. Like, I don't know. Just odd.
Yeah, I guess it makes more sense to buy a real card, like a Panini card from Trevor Booking back in that was edited in 1979,
right?
Instead of a digital card that has no utility right now and has little collectible value to me. But I guess it's also personal. What kind of value do you attach to those cards?
So, do you think that every card needs to have utility? Beyond collectability?
No, I guess no. That's not what I'm saying. I guess utility for all cards is good, but I guess if you're doing collectibles, just do it like by issuing cards that are from the year you're issuing them.
Right.
I guess a 2018 card like for a Belgian player should have more value in 10 years because you will say that it's one of the first cards to be issued on Sorare, also for this player, etc. So I guess that makes sense in terms of collectible value. But for the 1979 or something booker card, I guess a booking card, I guess I don't see the point in this.
That's fair. That's fair. So, Andy, I wanted to bring this up because a few people have been a little pitchforky about the auctions that were going on early during the transition.
Yeah.
And you picked up a card.
Yeah.
And after that, it's looked like there was an announcement that these cards weren't actually real, that the auctions weren't real. Do you think that you own this Darlington Nagbe card that you bought?
Well,
because it looks like you own it.
It was obviously insider access from a affiliate or whatever we are, an official sponsored content creator. Sorry, taking shots at a guy out in the community that's
you got the discount of paying 15% more than the last last few auctions.
I bought Darlington Nagbe for more than he was on the secondary market. I'm definitely getting some insider advantage here. Yeah, anybody could bid on those cards. I don't know what that was all about. I didn't see any announcements saying that those cards were pretend or not real or whatever. I own the card. It's in my account, I think. I don't know. I haven't checked, but I played him this week.
oh, wait, let me check.
It was Darlington Nagbe. He's
he's
my
your latest signing.
It does still say transfer in progress, but I don't know.
I thought we were never supposed to see that again.
Let me check. Yeah, but I guess the first cards were kind of like crash tests, and some of them
there were some hiccups.
Might be lost in the. No, it's yours. It's yours.
All right.
I see it on.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On the layer 2.
Did you bid on it expecting to own the card? I know that sounds ridiculous, but like.
I'll be completely honest. I bid on the card because I wanted. It felt like at that point the scaling solution was like almost done. I was like, all right, well, if I win this, I should see it transfer immediately into my wallet. So also, like, I have some Columbus players, so it wasn't that crazy for me to own him. But I kind of wanted to see the scaling solution work. Like I thought, I bid on this, I win it, it'll be in my wallet immediately. Like I'll see that transfer in progress go away. Well, it's transfer in progress is still on the card, so.
No, I guess it's just an indexing problem over there for this card particularly, and yeah, transfer progress will stay on for like a minute or so. In
More
most
than
cases,
a minute. It's been on there for like 48 hours.
Yeah, but you have to contact support. That's
gotcha.
pretty.
And at one point,
obvious.
At what point?
Too loud, HG.
Yeah, I'm too loud. I'm too loud for my girlfriend. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, contact support for this.
Yeah. But like theoretically, if you buy that card, somebody made a comment the other day. I think I shared the tweet with you guys that like it's going to be the new scaling solution is going to be really helpful around deadlines because once you buy cards, like they're immediately available. But they were always immediately available to play. Yeah. You think we're going to see like a ton of card flipping, no. like multiple card being flipped multiple times before deadlines?
Yeah, I guess it helps because you can have those flips pretty fast, but also it will help people like me because on SorareData it was messy before the deadline because I didn't get direct offers directly on the website, and right now I'm getting everything live. So basically, if you trade a card before the deadline, you won't have to send me a DM saying, hey, I just bought that card. It doesn't appear in my gallery. Can you do something?
Because you use the real blockchain data on your site, not the visual cue that Sorare uses.
Yeah, for many reasons, I prefer having my own database. Like I know some of the other third parties are only using the Sorare API to do that. But to me, it lacks flexibility if I do that. And so, yeah, I'm getting the data feed directly from Sorare and from the layer 2 transactions. I will also be in the, well, SorareData will be in the data committee, data validation committee. So if you have some problems with the data that is sent to the layer 2, I might be the person that you come and see and say, hey, I have a problem with the data, it's not right. And I can prove it to you that it's either you're right or you're wrong because I will store a copy of that data. But yeah, I guess what is important here is, okay, we get fast settlement, but that's it. In terms of more third-party applications directly on chain, we don't get anything more than this, because the only thing that they're doing with the layer 2 is saying, hey, this card transferred from this guy to this guy. All right. And they do it like what is done basically is, instead of saying to the blockchain every time there's a transfer, okay, there's a transfer, they're saying to the layer 2, okay, there's a transfer. The layer 2 just assembles like batches of transactions and say every hour or every 8 hours or something, it says to the layer 1, so to Ethereum, I have those batch of transactions that have happened in the past 8 hours or something. And I prove it to you that these are legitimate transfers. What that means is if you want to do a third party doing like loans or something, you have to somehow use Sorare to do that. So Sorare's API to do that. And you can't like just do it on another application where you just like link your Sorare account or your Sorare address or your MetaMask to it. So I guess that's the only thing that is a bit frustrating for me, is that basically loan markets will be very difficult to do with this solution without having some access to Sorare's features, like if you want to transfer a card through another application than Sorare. Sorare has to authorize you to do that. And I don't think they will do it short term, at least.
Back to the original question real quick. I think we will see like increased liquidity in the market, because like if I sell a card right before the deadline, I should, in theory, get the ETH for that right away or pretty quickly. As right now, we don't get that ETH quickly or right away. It takes a few hours or whatever. But if you get it right away, then if I need to make a purchase, I sell a card, buy a card right before. But there's, I guess, chain reactions with that. I buy a card right before the deadline. Somebody else gets that ETH. They can do something with it or not. I mean, we're sleeping before the deadline. It's 4 a.m. or something for us. So I'm not playing the market before game weeks, but I'm sure people are.
I'm fully convinced they're going to move the game week deadline again.
Yeah, I discussed this with Carl the other day, and I don't want to it's unclear when and if. So I guess it's the same problem as before. What do you prefer? Do you prefer people being frustrated with DNPs being announced during the afternoon when your lineups are locked? Or do you prefer removing some utility from some cards?
Well, HG, you probably understand this issue better than us. They could still do the thing where they have game weeks go all the way, like run into each other. The issue would be, and you could move it to Friday, like later in the day today, for instance. You could do it here 5 hours from now. But the issue is it's too late in the day for them because there's some manual work.
Really, I don't really. I guess the problem would be so it's that would be 17 hours UTC would be 19, so 7 p.m. In Paris. In Paris, 7 p.m. is pretty late in terms of working hours. So I get that. So I mean, I have no problem with them saying, hey, it's maybe too late in the day. We can't deliver rewards in like 2 hours, and we don't want people to work until 9 p.m. on a Friday night, and that makes sense. However, I don't feel like they have to make a choice. So I guess they're working on accelerating the process of delivering rewards. So if we have instant rewards or something, that will solve the problem. Because I guess that their ambition is to have rewards the same day as the game week closes. And I guess that's their priority and objective. So they don't want to have a deadline that is too late for them to distribute their rewards on the same day. So I guess that's the problem. And me as a player, I don't think I care too much about getting the rewards on the Friday or on the Saturday.
When you say that, do you mean they want you to get your rewards so that you can use them in that game week?
No.
Okay.
Not necessarily use them, but
Gotcha.
at least get them the same day as the game week closes. And I guess you don't, as a company, as Sorare, I wouldn't want people to work on a Saturday also. So I guess that
totally
also makes sense. So I guess the only way is for them is to work on the delivery system and have it working in like automatically or in like 10 or 15 minutes maximum.
Or to hire somebody in America and train them up.
It's not Sorare's philosophy to hire people in America, or if they do, you come to Paris. So
I get it.
But the deadline used to be, it was noon Eastern, right? So it was 6 hours later than it is now.
Yeah.
And did they just decide that was too late?
No, I guess the summer deadline is because of international games. That was the right hour to have like to be like persistent with the international games. But I guess I guess the only option I see is us going back to a gap of 5 or 6 hours between game weeks.
Automation, right? You can
But I
automate
don't see
anything,
it happening in August. I mean,
okay.
it's too. Another thing I proposed to Carl is dynamic times, but what he told me is like, no, we want the game to start for everyone at the same time, and we want and okay, that makes sense. I don't really like it, but that makes sense. And also, you might lose some people that are confused with starting time. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. But
if I'll be honest, if they kept changing the game week deadline, I would probably get confused and miss weeks and forget to set lineups and stuff. I already have a hard enough time, just.
Did you mean dynamic for everything or dynamic for each tournament or each region?
My idea would be it's at least starting at right now what it is. It's like 10 UTC. That's right, 10 UTC. And if, for example, Challenger Europe's game starts at 16 UTC, then the Challenger Europe leagues start at 15 UTC. But that way you don't go earlier than right now, but you can go later for some divisions because they have no games played in those divisions. So, but I get that's confusing and maybe some people won't like it. But as a Challenger Europe and a Champion Europe player, I want the deadline to be at as late as I can. Yeah.
I think because so many people on the platform are focused on those two, that they're going to move it. That's those two regions are why I think they will absolutely make it later, because getting any news is really helpful, and being
you get a lot of news on Friday,
right? And being able to trial this early deadline when those leagues are not playing is easy for them.
Yeah, I mean, you like today we'll get like in the afternoon in Europe, we'll get all the squads for the GPL games, all the squads for the Russian games, and since it's the beginning of the season, you're already picking quite blindly. Like I don't know if this guy is going to start, and sometimes with player coming back from the Euros, you don't even know if he's going to be on the squad. Like for Vanaken or Mignolet, that's very unlikely that they even start the game. But if you can have that information, that is very valuable to see if the player is on the squad or not.
Yeah. There's going to be players probably not in the squad that I have in starting lineups. And I worked so hard last night, just like digging through Twitter and everywhere. Yeah. And I thought Jupiler League research wasn't as bad as it was. I forgot, man. It's hard. It is super hard. So I worked my butt off, and I know that I'm still going to have there's going to be a player that's like there's transfer rumors around or something, and he's not going to be in a squad, and I'm just going to be SOL.
This time of year is just awful for that. Yeah. Like with the transfer window open, it's like, oh, this guy was fit, played all the preseason matches, and then all of a sudden AC Milan calls and they're like, hold on. He can't play today.
Right.
And
and obviously also Sorare, I don't know if it's Opta or Sorare, but I guess it's Opta having some kind of latency between the actual announcement of the transfer and what's actually showing on their API or on Sorare at least. Like for Cousin Odilon that was transferred to Leverkusen yesterday. Mm-hmm. I guess even today, I don't know if it's showing on the website, but yesterday it wasn't showing. So if you're not looking carefully about news and transfers, etc., you might get some surprises.
Cosino and Dennis were weird because when I was selecting my challenger teams, they were both available, but they both showed NG, which so they kind of understood that they were transferred, but they kind of didn't.
Yeah, they're doing something that's, if I understand it correctly, that is very weird. That they're where a player is playing on a team. So you have like they say he plays on this team, but they also have like player memberships, like they played in this team for like 2 years or something. And let's say if the membership ends today for Bruges, they might say he's available for the game week. You see what I mean? But they can't find an active game since they say he's playing for Leverkusen.
Yeah.
So, a bit confusing. Also, that's why we had some troubles picking players for international games. That was tough. Yeah, like if you didn't know that you owned Marquinhos, they like I own Marquinhos and he was playing the Copa America, and on the lineup picker on Sorare, he wasn't. You had to type his name to actually know that he was playing.
I had so many cards I didn't get to use or I forgot to use during international, and I think I struggled a lot because I wasn't really digging through my gallery. But I know like Renan Lodi, he started, I don't know, maybe half their games or something, or he played a decent amount. And I don't think I might have used him like once or twice because I kept forgetting that he was there.
No, but that's true, and I guess that kind of helped scouting players that were playing for international teams, but manual scouting and also digging on social media, etc., is always the best. I mean, you can get info from various websites, but a human being checking websites and digging through information is always better than just a website telling you he's going to play, especially when you're looking at RotoWire MLS predicted lineups. No, but I guess that's my only way to know if one of my MLS player is actually maybe playing. And I don't blame RotoWire for this because injury reports are weird in the US, and I guess they are not very transparent about everything. But
injuries are the worst. They're not transparent at all about injuries.
Yeah. So it's very difficult to actually get the right information. But if you do something like checking the friendlies that happened before in the preseason, especially for GPL teams, that's interesting.
I wasn't expected to be tilted about MLS injuries at 7:57 this morning, but here we are. So back to this scaling thing that we're supposed to be talking about. From a user perspective, like just playing the game, other than faster transfers, that means I just get my ETH faster or my card faster so I can resell it. Am I going to notice any difference otherwise?
Yeah, you're going to notice uncommon cards. And that's a big difference. I guess that's a very, very big difference. And that's why I guess for a lot of people, they are kind of disappointed about the transition because they don't see anything actually happen for them. But this transition is an enabler for so many things because they don't have to pay for transaction fees anymore. So uncommon cards, that means that if uncommons are too expensive at some point or people just bought them all, you could have another scarcity. I don't know what would be the name of. Yeah, common. This time they are common, but you can buy them. I guess 1 out of 10,000, and so that's an enabler. And it's also a bit frustrating to me because it's not something that is enabling other applications to build on this. And so that's a bit frustrating, but that will come in the later month or years, I guess.
Do you have any fears or concerns over the new scarcity and its effect on like the current market? Like, will goalkeepers, for instance, lose value? Like, could I buy it? And I guess a lot of it's unknowns because we don't know how they're gonna implement them totally. But like, I saw a lot of like people mentioning like, hey, if I could use an uncommon in All-Star D4, I would use that as my goalkeeper, and now goalkeeper prices are going to come crashing down. And I was just like, it's an interesting thought. I think they'll probably keep things separate though, for the most part. Maybe not.
Yeah, I can't say on this, but I guess one of my fears is going back to some kind of a model where you have, let's say, not mixing of scarcities. I guess I've always loved D3, for example, because D3 is actually mixing your best rares with also maybe some super rares, and it enables people to play, like if they have one or two super rares, they can play them in D3. What could be tempting though would be having like an uncommon division, a rare division, a super rare division, etc. And what I don't like about it is what you said about like goalkeepers. You still have a problem with goalkeeper prices, and also you lose some kind of progression that I like in the game, like having an intermediary division where you can play a card, a super rare card, or for example a rare card in uncommon, or in uncommon in with rare cards. Looks to me like it's more interesting. That's limiting to only one scarcity in by division. So I guess it will come down to what kind of format do they create for the game, and if they are going to create a Division 5 for uncommons, and can you play commons inside them? Also, commons, what do they become?
Yeah.
Can you play them in D4? I don't think so.
I just hope they get rid of commons. I hate commons. Every time I look at the commons, they drive me nuts because mine are so bad.
Yeah,
Burn
like
them.
you already said many times before, is like, why, or Jimmer, I don't know, but why can't I pick my commons like every week or something?
Yeah.
That would make more sense. But yeah, it all comes down to which format do they choose for the game. And my concern would be really losing utility for rare cards, because rare cards are 90% of the supply right now. Uncommons will become 90% of the supply soon. But I guess if you have like one playing division for rares and one playing division for super rares, for example, you're losing a lot of utility for your rares, or at least that's my perception on things. So yeah, my concern is this, and but I wouldn't be too worried about pricing and goalkeeper prices going to the ground, because I know that when they're doing something, they try not crashing the market on all the players, because when you bought Thibaut Courtois for the 1.5 ETH, you might be very angry when you have some rules that say, hey, your Courtois is now worth like 0.2 or something.
Yeah. They very clearly are cognizant and think before they make any changes that might have market impacts. In fact, I can't think of any change that they've implemented that ever really had big market implications.
Well,
other than auction times.
No, I think you can have big impacts with some decisions, and
no, you can. I think that they've done a good job at really thinking things through and not,
Yeah, I'm not sure. Super rares, I guess their price has gone pretty down consistently.
Yeah.
But because at the beginning, if there was like a rare division, super rare division,
Sure.
unique division, so you had an incentive that was pretty fine to buy super rares, because you could get pretty much the same rewards if you're buying 5 rares. So I guess that's a decision that removing like this format that had an impact.
Probably the poor prizes in D2, but I think that they're kind of correcting that because D2's gotten considerably better from a price perspective. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's 23 paid ranks this week in ASD2, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, a lot better than 10.
Yeah, I guess that's better than before. Or maybe I should check that. And it's not Challenger Europe, but let me check.
I had 3 thoughts on all of that. One is that I was looking at somebody's gallery the other day because I was looking for one of their cards, and I saw that they had an Mbappe and a Neymar common, and I was jealous because my commons are so bad. Obviously, they can't use them together other than in the rookie or whatever the starter league is if they can still play. But it was just like I looked at theirs and then I looked at mine, and I was like, oh, this is just.
Could you only use one common in the weekly challenge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be not fair. If you
I was like getting ready to tilt over here.
Yeah, no, you're good. Secondly, I think the uncommon should just replace the common in Division 4. That no more commons in D4, but you can use an uncommon, and that gets the 50% hit. Like I don't think that should count fully. So I think that's an easy solution. The goalkeeper thing, if we added divisions, and I think we've talked about this. I think Carl has even said this, that like they're the possibility of adding divisions. So there could be only rares, then rare and super rare, only super rares. More divisions means you need more goalkeepers. Like you obviously need more cards anyway, but like you have to play a goalkeeper in these divisions. And so I think just more divisions means goalkeeper prices have to stay up because they're just fundamentally scarce because there's only one per team. And if there are more contests to enter, we need more goalkeepers. So I don't see how if increasing divisions, the number of divisions is actually a thing, that's the easiest way to keep goalkeeper prices high. Not that they want to keep them high, but like that will keep them high.
You know, that makes me think of something is in the previous scoring metrics, we had like this weird system that I enjoyed that was playing a DNP was sometimes better than playing goalkeeper because you had negative points. So you could end up with a goalkeeper with -2 and lose points because of it. I guess negative points are maybe something that are wrong for some, like going under 0, but maybe something is could be done about like the starting score and having like those DNPs being maybe less punishing than they are right now, and that would also enable people to play goalkeepers that are not starting and maybe have some kind of starting score that doesn't really eliminate your lineups directly. What's your take on that?
No.
Why?
I mean, fundamentally, you're just saying you should be able to enter with 4 cards, right?
No. I would say that it's really frustrating for a person that is coming to the game and is seeing very high prices on goalkeepers, and sometimes you can't even enter your lineup because you don't have the card, and buying like a backup goalkeeper would be interesting because you would get like, I don't know, 10, 15 points, I don't know, and still be in the contention if your 4 of the cards score really well, and get something. And that would reduce, at least to me, I don't know if the idea is good, but what I see is that would reduce the frustration of some people on the fact that they don't own any starting goalkeeper.
10 points for being on the bench.
Yeah, for example, 10 on 15.
I've always liked that idea where, I mean, if you choose a player that's not even in the squad, then you get your DNP 0. But if they're in the squad, you know, the values of all those backup goalkeepers is like, at least they can churn out 10 points for you. And
also a thing that is needed for me is just change the goalkeeper scoring matrix. I mean, it's you get a clean sheet, then you're the king of the world because you get 60 points guaranteed. Sometimes you can get up to 80 with some goalkeepers racking up saves. And you could have your guy that conceded 1 goal and like saved five shots on target, for example, and end up with, I don't know, 45 or something.
Or you could be David Ochoa and concede a goal and still score 96 last week.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, it never happened. Like,
it's rare.
It might be the max score for a goalkeeper. I guess 97 or 98. I don't.
Somebody got 100.
Yeah, at some point.
I don't know if it was newer.
I don't know if it was live or
he was on track for 100 and then he conceded.
I think that's that.
Somebody like this past like 2 months got 100.
Yeah, I can check that anyway.
I remember talking about it, but I thought they gave up a goal. Like I thought they were on track for 100 and then didn't. But yeah, I don't remember.
Let me check.
I like that idea of points for being in the squad. That makes everybody feel better. And 10 or 15 points. Oh, there it is. Jonathan Bond got the 100. That's right. He did have a huge game. Thank you.
Does giving 10 points for being in the squad just kind of like water everything down a little bit though, and not really like you might feel better, but it doesn't actually help you?
But isn't that perfect actually?
Yeah,
I feel better.
Less complaints. I got my 10 points, I guess.
But I guess if it can fill a gap between you and a tier 3 or a tier 2, it's actually very helpful. It helps.
Right, and because you, but it also helps everybody else too. Like that also are in the same boat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Theoretically, it increases the price of backup goalkeepers though, because now they actually have utility. Like I can end. I mean, you can always enter a lineup with a backup goalie. Like that's not actually getting you.
Bram Castro just is going to go way up in value. Everybody buy Bram.
I don't think it justifies a value increase though. Like being a backup goalkeeper, like scoring 15 points or 10 points. I don't think it justifies anything. Actually, 3 goalkeepers scored 100. But in previous games, Chesney scored once 100, and Daniel Schmidt also scored 100.
Huh.
And as you said, Jonathan Bond.
I know Barraza only hit like 73 this week. He had a clean sheet and an assist. I was expecting a little more. Oh, well.
Must have been a boring game for him.
Wait, so why don't you think it increases prices? I mean, I'm not talking like drastically, and these are like cheap players anyway. But theoretically, a goalkeeper who gets 10 or 15 points every week is more valuable than one that gets 0.
Yeah, it probably increases value of backup goalies, but doesn't change anything about reserve goalkeepers' value, I guess.
Yes, I agree there.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm paying more for a backup goalie because he's a backup and he scores 15 points. But that's from my perspective because I have already enough goalkeepers. But from someone that comes from a less.
You told me yesterday you don't have enough goalkeepers.
No. I said I'm not comfortable with my Champion Europe goalkeepers. That doesn't mean that I don't have enough, but.
I think it was I'm not comfortable with my 10 Champion Europe goalkeepers.
My 9, yeah, because I have Navas, and Navas, it's so frustrating to own him because now with Donnarumma, it's like you never know when he's playing or not.
Yeah,
and I have and I have also Alban Lafont, which is he will concede so much this season, so I'm not very comfortable with this. So, but yeah. I mean, if I have like 1 goalkeeper or 2, maybe I'll get a backup because I have the chance that the starting one gets injured. And if I get 10 to 15 points in ISD4, for example, it can help getting over that 200 or 250 mark.
Especially if you don't have a common goalkeeper that's playing that week. Like,
but you could solve everything by just letting people choose their goalkeeper, their government goalkeeper for that week. I mean, to me, it's so much. It's so frustrating to not be able to line up Champion Asia lineups only because I have defenders, midfielders, forwards, but I don't have a goalkeeper, and I frankly don't care about Champion Asia, so I didn't invest in buying a goalkeeper or something. But when you win this in All-Star, you can't even play them in Champion Asia because you don't have a goalkeeper, and that's a bit weird. And also, I'll finish on this commons. Like, if you're new to the game, don't pick your favorite teams when they tell you to pick your favorite teams. Just pick an Asian team that has a good goalkeeper and European teams that have great players, like PSG, Real Madrid, and you'll get crazy good comments. And that's unfair.
I agree. It is kind of funny. They're like, pick your favorites. And like, no, don't do that. Never pick your favorites. We're not here to buy the cards.
Pick the best clubs. And
right.
Asia also. If you want to play in Champion Asia, pick an Asian team so you can have a goalkeeper.
Why don't you just spend 0.01 on a backup Asia goalkeeper?
Because it doesn't score 10.
Yeah, you can't win with a DNP goalie.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
I mean, theoretically, you're only getting 15 to 20 points out of a common goalkeeper who doesn't keep a clean sheet anyway.
I guess I should look at the threshold to win a card in D4 in Champion Asia and see if that's worth it. But I guess in ASD4, it justifies itself because you can get to 250 if you get someone that is not scoring at all. That would be scoring like 60 for the other 4 players, which is, I guess, good scoring, but it's not unlikely.
I had a goalkeeper in Champion Asia D4 this week, but I only had 3 outfield players, and I got a tier 3 card.
That's pretty good.
So you could have done that. And I'm guessing your Asia players are probably better than mine, my outfield ones.
No. I have like a U23 forward, and that's it. It's like the Benji Michel in Asia.
Of Asia?
I like Benji Michel. It's like I got it as a reward, and he's pretty good. I like him. I have Kamiya, I guess it's in the card I have for Champion Asia. But I guess that I should try it and tell you guys if it was worth it or not. But also, what I don't like is not having the information I need to actually field my lineups in Asia. That's why also I gave up on it. I had a goalkeeper once, but I sold it. I guess it's too frustrating not to have the information and just line people up and don't see what's going to happen.
I did the same thing. I was getting so frustrated with like I had like, and it wasn't like I didn't have the stars. Like I had Langerak, and he's clean sheet every week, great goalkeeper. And I had one of his defenders. I had Cezinha. I had the Leandro De Meo. But I would always end up with like one guy getting rotated, or I wouldn't know if like Cezinha was going to play because like he was maybe like nursing an injury. Just got so frustrated. I was like, I'm selling all of them and going to just go play something else. Because I would have like a random midfielder with a DNP and like 4 great scores and then just blah. So instead of like tilting and crying and like complaining, just sell it all.
Yeah, invest that money in buying a pool or in buying, I don't know,
investing in Champion Europe is what happened.
Yeah, Champion Europe cards. That's good also.
Yeah.
Did you just consider learning Japanese?
No, I didn't. But I barely know English, so I don't know. That's not a good path for me.
If you haven't looked up how much Rosetta Stone is to learn Korean, I don't think you're really playing it.
Wait for Black Friday.
Yeah,
Black Friday is the best time of year. And you know what? I bought like the lifetime access to Rosetta Stone last Black Friday, and I haven't opened the application since. But hey, I have a lifetime access to Rosetta Stone, so I
Very
mean,
nice.
Just when you're ready to learn Japanese and Korean, you're all set.
yeah, I always wanted to learn Korean. Yeah, but it's
The
too
best is we'll
hard.
know when you buy the K-League goalkeeper, and we're like, oh wait, Maxime must have learned Korean finally.
Yeah.
Do you guys think there's any like unintended consequences or like just things we'll start to notice on the platform with the scaling solution in place now where like, I don't know, changes to something? I don't know.
No,
No.
I don't think so.
I think that like pre-deadline liquidity is going to be significantly higher than we think.
Yeah. So
I mean-
list all your cards before the deadline that you're not playing.
I think you could. Like if you're
My big issue is I'm asleep when the deadline comes, so I really can't list cards that I have in lineups. And I'm sure you're the same way, Andrew, where you can't list cards because there's a good possibility that one will sell and you'll wake up to a dead lineup.
Yep. I had a card. I actually did it early a few weeks ago. I posted a card and it sold like 1 second before I went to put my lineup in. Like I opened, it was a Lucas Hinterseer card, plays for Ulsan. And like I knew it was on the market, but I hadn't gotten the notification that it sold. And I went to like put my lineup into Sorare and he wasn't there. And I was like, oh no. And then I didn't have a forward that week. But I don't even mean that. I mean like, I think we're going to see cards flipped multiple times, like within the hour of deadline.
Yeah, but I don't see the point with losing XP. I guess okay, it's faster, but you still lose experience points, and I don't see why I would trade more cards before the deadline now than before.
I think people will do it because they like. I don't think it's people who care about the XP.
Okay.
Like if you're desperately trying to buy a card before the deadline, I don't think anybody's checking XP. And I think there are going to be more people who like primarily focus their Sorare attention on the hours before deadline to see which cards they can flip multiple, like, you know, just multiple times, not necessarily the same card, but like, I think there's just going to be so much more liquidity that we're going to see people do that.
One thing that might be added is other currencies than ETH.
Boo. Why? Just because everybody uses it?
Because dollar is king and fiat is king and ETH isn't used by anyone.
Wow, Evaldo, you look so much different.
No, but I respect that opinion and I understand it. But no, I guess the one thing that is still missing is lowering the barrier to entry with the whole crypto onboarding stuff. And to play Sorare, you still have to buy ETH, and that's still a problem for many people. And I guess that's the only thing that is left before we actually can open the gates and like, come on in. But yeah, I guess it's too. I don't think Nicola, Sorare CEO, is a crypto maximalist and will tell people, no, you need to buy ETH to play the game. And I think at some point we will see other currencies. But I mean, that's complicated.
You can play without it now. I mean, I know you're technically buying ETH, but you can play Sorare now without ever going out and buying ETH somewhere and depositing it on Sorare.
I don't want to do the debate all over again, but don't do that. No, I had someone telling me, and that's fair, and he's right. Like, SorareData right now, and it will change in the future, is like calculating prices of a card based on the price of the day and not the last hour. And some people are buying cards. Sorare is showing the hourly price of Ethereum, so of Ether. So it might differ from 1 hour to another, and where there are big drops or bigger rises in a day, you might have a big difference in the conversion. But I don't know, buying a card that is worth, I don't know, 600 euros at the end of the day and 550 at the start of the day is very, I don't like having to deal with all that volatility. So sticking to ETH or sticking to another fiat currencies would be fine to me, but I still don't like this kind of middle ground. And to me, it's the perfect time to swap to another currencies and just say, like, let's say we're talking euros, or let's say we're talking dollars. I don't know, but let's settle down with only one currency and not having to deal with all that. Oh no, I'm thinking ETH. Oh, but me, I'm thinking euro. Oh, the ETH price just dropped 10%. I don't know. Just make up your mind and stop it.
But it has to be one.
Surely, but dollars against euros change way less than dollars versus ETH. So I guess that's better. But that would be euro, I guess, because they're European, and why not? No, but I guess because the user base is mainly European, so euro would make sense.
But if they
Yeah, what is a euro compared to a dollar? Euro is worth like $1.25 or something compared to a dollar.
Yeah, a bit less. Yeah, 118 or 120.
That's pretty close. It won't be that hard. I don't know. Math is hard for me though. So
like it's 5% over 1 year over another. So I guess losing 5% instead of losing 25% in 1 day is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you don't like losing ETH, Andrew, but I guess that needs to happen. I mean, you can't say to people on Instagram, like, hey, come on in, you're going to play a fantasy football game, but you have to go to Coinbase first and buy ETH and transfer it to, or you have to do it on Ramp, and everything loses value every day or gains value, but we don't know why. It cannot.
Yeah, there's a lot of training and teaching and a lot of work that's involved with that when you can just kind of skip the process.
Mm-hmm.
We had one question that I really wanted to answer to. That is the question about were we on Sorare during the market frenzy the last time?
Yeah.
And what were the signs? And my answer is, of course, we were there, but my answer is check out Mbappe's order book. That's the only thing that you need to check. Mbappe's order book. If people are buying Mbappe's for crazy prices, that means that everything's going to follow.
Did you buy an Mbappe today?
Yeah.
Did you sell one today?
Yeah. No, but that's.
Was it instant?
No, it wasn't. I had to wait 8 hours for my ETH to actually come on my balance. No, but I had an unfortunate event where I was testing notifications for SorareData and listed an Mbappe card because I had notifications set up for him. I completely forgot to actually remove the listing.
You know what?
And woke up and the card was sold.
You know what's funny about your answer? I almost replied to that guy's tweet with the response. Were there any signs, that we noticed? And I was going to say, yeah, when Gary Vee bought an Mbappe. Just similar to your answer.
Yeah, I guess when people are rushing to blue chips, so very valuable cards, that means that there's something that's going to happen. And right now, you see Mbappe isn't listed for less than 14th, I think, which is significantly higher than the past month. And I can also promote SorareData and say that you can find expired listings right now on the price graphs. And that's very helpful if you want to actually know where you should list your card to actually have a chance to be bought. And so expired listings for Mbappe like 2 weeks ago were 9.6, 9.5. And today it's significantly higher.
Wow.
Yeah, that you want to buy an Mbappe too, right?
I do, yeah.
I just bought an Mbappe because I want to have my chance at listing my Mbappe for 50th and be the lucky winner.
I'm going to pull this up. So apologies for those who are listening and can't see this. But this is the Mbappe price graph for the year.
Is that a year? Oh, yeah. You can click on 1 year now. Oh, it's year to date. Okay.
From year to date. Sorry. And it's funny to see. I had to bring this in. I'm going to show the direct offers too, because that adds a few more of them, but nothing crazy. But I love seeing how many have been posted and not sold. And the total shoot for the moon, like how there's always one on the market for 100 ETH, just in case something comes along.
That's me.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
That's me testing notifications and listing the cards.
But yeah, I think this is a very cool addition. But you can
it's very nice.
Yeah, it's a bit crowded here. But if you check 1 month, it's pretty helpful over the last days to see what should be the price. You see, like you had a sale at 12 ETH and another one at 10. And right now, expired offers should be above that number, obviously.
Right.
And it's also very helpful for super rares, which have basically sometimes no valuation at all, and having like to see where the last one expired or something is very helpful. Because if that expired, that means that the market just didn't buy it for that price. And you see, I was surprised to see. Well, I didn't check everything, of course, but I was very surprised to see the market was pretty accurate. I mean, like people just buying at the, let's say, 0.001 ETH under the lowest expired listing. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So thanks for the promotion.
Yeah.
Andrew.
It was a very cool feature. It was worth talking for sure. Is there anything else?
I have a cool question for you guys. What do you? With uncommons, I had a discussion with Zanoob, which is a French ambassador for Sorare, and he was basically saying, I'm not sure that uncommons will lower the prices. I guess just more people will come and buy at crazy prices uncommons. I'm not sure I agree with that, but what would you think would be the minimum price for an Mbappe uncommon card?
10 ETH is
still going to be a lot.
Yeah, 10 ETH is the rare card price.
Yeah, but the minimum was at the beginning, that was like 2 or 3 ETH. But let's say right now the minimum is barely 7 to 8.
I would say, not knowing what that even system gameplay, all that is even going to look like, just throwing random numbers out there, I'm going to say 3 ETH.
So you're saying no one is going to buy an uncommon Mbappe card for less than 3 ETH?
I think that if you want to buy one, that's what it's going to cost.
I was going to say 1 ETH for an Mbappe uncommon.
But I think there's going to be lots of price discovery on that, where you're going to have some way under and some way over, and then it's going to settle somewhere.
I'm saying we see under €1,000 Mbappe's uncommon.
So that's half an ETH ish.
Yeah, but under because it's 0.6 at the time, I guess. Yeah,
I think
sure.
I think
sure of it.
The problem with Mbappe uncommons is, like, we're thinking, oh, they're adding a new scarcity. It's 1,000 of every player is going to flood the market. 1 million users with 1,111 Mbappes, like, it's just not that. It's not enough. It's not that many cards. Like, they're still really scarce.
Yeah. So what's your reasoning now? So if you know that, what should you do now?
I still think it's only one, like, because they're going to sell them before we get to 1 million users.
No, but I mean, when you acknowledge that there's going to be 1 million users on Sorare at some point, and commons will go pretty expensive, I guess my reasoning is I'm not selling any card right now. I'm not selling any rare card, especially not any super rare card. I'm just keeping everything. And I'm not saying that you guys should, but I guess it's pretty logical if you think that in like 6 months or something, there's 1 million users on Sorare and they will be paying a lot for uncommon cards. So what's the price for super rares, or what's the price for rare cards?
The only reason I sell cards right now is to get into different cards, get into a better card. Yeah. So
how many? Let's say they add 100,000 users. Like, let's just use that as the round number, because I think 1 million is a little crazy. So 100,000 new users come once they introduce this new scarcity. What percentage of those users, and I'll even say that there are 100,000 active users, like they will continue to play and all of that. What percentage of that group just plays with uncommons?
Yeah, I don't know, because
at first, very high.
Not even at first, forever. Like, there are going to be people who look at the rares and say, you know what, that's just too much for me. I'm going to keep playing, uncommons, and they'll be perfectly content with that.
I think people are always going to want to progress up. I think that the number of people that are just going to be content and stay is going to be pretty low.
I think the reason why I think the number is higher is because they're the people who try to play now on a budget, like a smaller budget, and are buying cards now of young players who are DNPs or guys coming back from injuries. If you could use that same money and buy all of the rare card, like the uncommon versions of the rare cards you actually want to buy, why wouldn't you just do that?
I don't know. Margins are going to be worse.
Yeah.
But it's more fun. Your fun margin is higher.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe.
People buying uncommons depend on a lot of things, especially formats, gaming format. And we will see a Division 5. We will see utility of our uncommon cards in D4. That's, I don't know. We will see auctions for uncommon cards. It looks like it. I'm not sure about it, but and also the market will be completely flooded by uncommon cards, and I don't know how it's going to happen. Like that many cards being on sale, that will be crazy. So, and we don't know if they're actually going to issue 1,000 cards for every player that is on Sorare. So. Yeah, I guess the safe bet is just sticking to rares right now and having the opportunity to buy rares without having like the mainstream media all over Sorare already, and the mainstream crowd, I'd say, is a pretty good opportunity, I guess. But not financial advice, not investment advice.
It sounded like investment
advice to me. Sounded like investment advice. Yeah.
No. No, well, let's say that's what I'm doing, and you shouldn't be doing what I do if you're not convinced about what I just said. Because I guess some people are just thinking, no, Sorare is probably not going to make it to 1 million users. It's too complicated. ETH is too much of a problem. They won't get away from ETH. And I mean, that's fine. And maybe they're right. And they are probably right. But I'm more on the bullish side of things, I guess. I built a company over this. So I pretty much be bullish on this.
So, but like fundamentally, so you think that more users, even with uncommons, the growth in users will make rare cards more valuable as opposed to watering down the value of rare cards because we have this cheaper option. You think there are enough people who come in because of the new scarcity that they'll want more rare cards, and therefore our current rare cards will be worth more. That's why you're not selling.
I guess that's the reasoning. Yeah. And it works out if you have also good progression in the game, and that makes people want to actually own rare cards.
Right.
So that's why I don't want rare cards to lose utility in the process of introducing uncommons.
You're saying like if there was a D5 where you had to have, or you could have up to like 2 rares to put into your lineups, and they have some kind of XP boost or whatever. You're kind of pushing people up, right?
No, but let's say that I don't want Sorare to become an uncommon game, and I want to keep the current tournament structure and having also more rewards for uncommon players. That's fine by me, but without touching to what's actually happening for rare cards. Another just small point on this. I know one of the objectives for Sorare is actually enable more utility from T2 and Tier 3 cards. And I'm also looking forward to see what they have planned for this. That could also mean that Tier 2 and Tier 3 rare cards might not be that worthless after all. That would be fun also.
I mean, I'm happy to have my cards worth more. That sounds good to me. That's all.
As long as my blue chips are untouched, I mean, I'm fine.
I don't even have any, so.
Yeah, that's why I say my.
Yeah.
No, Black has more blue chips than me.
He was just name dropping like the 5 best Asia players, and he was like, "Oh, I have this guy and this guy. I don't know anything about them, but they happen to be 1 through 5 in the rankings." So
yeah, and they happen to randomly DNP and tilt me, so I sold them.
Yeah, but now you're going to be able to tilt on GPL players not playing, and that's
we're all going to be doing that this weekend. Yeah. In fact, not even that this weekend. Today, in about 5 hours, we'll be tilting over something.
Yeah, and that's pretty great. I was looking forward to this week for quite some time now, and I'm really happy to be there. Yep. And in 2 weeks, Ligue 1, some Portuguese football also. That's the coolest moment of the season. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but they actually said that they are going to release, that their objective would be to release all clubs from a league 2 weeks after the league has started.
Yeah.
That's ambitious.
Well, it all comes back to the whole thing with the scaling solution. And I would just, if I could offer any advice to the Sorare team at all, it would be, I would focus on under-promising and over-delivering. So getting that scaling solution done in 4 hours was a bit optimistic, I imagine. I mean, I'm not a technical guy. Well, I'm not technical in that sense, so I don't know exactly what they were doing. But it just seems like, very ambitious. And I think that you'll always keep your customers happy if you get it done early. So if they would have said the scaling solution was going to take 2 days and they got it done in 1, amazing. People would have been thrilled. I would say the same for some of the stuff with releasing new cards. Like, don't set there will be people that are like, you said 2 weeks.
Yeah. But they also say a bit later in the text, like, it doesn't depend on us. That's also our objective. But
Right.
of course, if we don't receive pictures, we can do it. So yeah, but if they do it, that means that this week we have more Bruges cards, more Anderlecht, Antwerp, more CSKA Moscow, so Russian cards, and that should be an exciting 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. They'll stop minting the MLS cards for a bit. Those get boring to look at.
Oh my gosh.
And you see that the one thing I regret is they stopped selling 2020, 21 cards way before MLS 2020 cards and J and K League 2020 cards. And I mean, I like it because it's consistent and it's good, but I don't like it because it's going to be a bloodbath on the market, on the primary market in the coming weeks.
You think so?
Yeah, sure.
Not
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have any intel on, since you're sponsored by Sorare now, on Sorare becoming a unicorn, but I guess that in France at least, medias are covering it as it's a done deal.
Do unicorns have 4 horns?
No.
I heard 4 billion. Okay.
No, unicorns are maybe some people don't know about this, but it's companies that are worth more than $1 billion or 1 billion euro. And of course, when they are going to actually confirm that, and they're not denying it anymore, they're just saying we have nothing to announce yet. We're looking to many ways to accelerate our growth, but we have nothing to announce yet.
Yeah, and they have 20 positions posted.
Yeah.
And they're sponsoring podcasts. Just throwing cash around like it's nothing.
Yeah, I'm not getting any money
right now.
Yeah.
That's after the podcast when I ask you about the cut I'm taking on this.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, okay, right. No, but I mean, when it's going to be official and they're going to be marketing about it, I guess that's the time where it's going to be a bloodbath on the market. The last time it was the frenzy and people buying Mbappe's for 20th or 50th. It was coinciding with the time where they announced they were raising 50 million.
I've got one final question for you. In the French community, do you guys refer to this as to March as the boom?
Yeah. I don't know if it's the boom, but yeah.
Everybody calls it that. How do you say the boom in French?
Explosion.
Very nice.
But you can also, it's like explosion, but you can also say boom. Also, a bit of French trivia for you guys. A boom is also a party when you're like in middle school and you're going to la boom, we call it that, and when you dance with people and you do slow dancing with girls.
So it's that awkward middle school dance.
Yeah, no, it's the party.
It's French, so it's all good.
And there's a famous French movie that is called La Boom. So you should the 86 or something. You guys should check it out.
Okay.
No, you shouldn't.
That's my homework assignment.
That's it. That's what we're doing today. All right. This has been the latest episode of the SorareAndrews podcast. Maxime, thank you again for coming on. That was it's always a pleasure to have you here. We're always smarter when you're on. So thank you for coming on. As we've said like 6 times in the last hour or last 10 minutes, excuse me, this has been sponsored by Sorare. So hopefully that doesn't change. Nobody noticed any changes, but I'm sure somebody will be upset. But anyway, we'll be back next week with another episode. We have a few people asking us to talk about super rares. So I think that's where we're heading. So if you guys have any specific questions on super rares or topics that you'd like us to cover, feel free to contact us. You can find me on Twitter at RotoWireAndrew. Andy is at ABlack86. I almost messed that up for the 700th time. And as well available in the Sorare Discord under Black, and I think I'm Andrew M. Laird there, or Lairdinho.
Ladinho.
Yeah, Lairdinho. So check us out. Gentlemen, thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, see you soon, guys.